Well, there's already a buzz in the ballpark celebrating the 1983 White Sox, but there's also added juice because this man gets the ball. He is the ace of the staff, Davis Martin, and he's been so good at home. Second in Major League Baseball in ERA, just over 1 when he pitches here at Wright Field. Welcome back inside the booth. Davis Martin, he already has 10 starts this season where he's only allowed just 1 run or less. Only Jacob Misiorowski has more than that this year. Steve, he has really taken his game to the next level for the White Sox.
He's going to have to be really good today because Michael Wacha goes to the mound for Kansas City. He's 7-2 lifetime against our Sox, but Davis Martin in this ballpark is not only undefeated, but the Sox are undefeated at 6-0 in his 6 starts. You can see the numbers, and they're brilliant. 40 strikeouts, only 7 walks. He gets ahead in this park, and his teammates certainly support him. So we'll see. Maybe not as much offense as we saw last night, but the Sox are going to have to be good to take this series. It would be their 10th home series won in a row in this park. Hopefully more the same from last night here this afternoon. It's a gorgeous day for baseball.
Well, that 1983 winning ugly team was fun to watch, and we're going to celebrate them throughout the broadcast here today as this 2026 White Sox squad looks to take this series again. There we go. The White Sox getting set to take the field after last night's explosion. 22-1. The White Sox offense was on fire. Well, Will Venable says each and every game they come to the ballpark with a very different mindset. They reset. Nothing that happens the day or night before impacts this team.
Well, that's how you concentrate on this game. Tomorrow hasn't happened. Yesterday is gone, and all you have is the here and now. And if you learn how to do that, you're going to be a very tough team to beat. The Sox are becoming one of those.
Davis Martin has taken his game to a different level this season, and there's just a different confidence level every time he takes the ball for the White Sox this year.
Well, that's pretty much what any team feels when their ace goes to the mound, and make no mistake, there are some very good pitchers on this team, but Davis Martin is the ace of this staff. But each and every day you go out there, you have to reprove it.
It's going to be a tough test, and we are expecting a pitcher's duel with Michael Wacha taking the mound for the Royals, as both of those guys will link up here to start this one. You see Mike Vasil getting the guys fired up. That is his job, to bring the energy each and every game.
Well, the Sox know they got a tough customer on the other side of the equation. Michael Wacha has been outstanding lifetime against the Sox. 7-2 with an ERA of 2.66. He is the ace of the Kansas City staff, so it's ace against ace. We'll see who gives way this afternoon.
Bring him out. Bring him out. Davis Martin takes the mound with fireworks exploding in the background. Every game here at home, the energy has just been on point. Yet a concert after the game, 22-run score. We are loving this vibe right now.
Going to be a big crowd today, probably 34,000 people.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup put out there by Royals manager Matt Quatraro. It is Jensen leading things off. The DH, Bobby Witt Jr. His first time playing shortstop in a week. Jack Caglianone's at first. Lane Thomas in center field. Michael Massey, the local products, at second. Salvador Perez has the dish. John Raven right. Nick Lofton at third. And Isaac Collins is in left field. We reach out to Mike Vasil, who gave us a scouting report on Davis Martin.
Hello, White Sox fans. Today we have Davis Martin on the mound. I'm Mike Vasil with the Chicago White Sox. Davis Martin brings a lively fastball, the ability for swing and miss, and great feel for the strike zone. He's been on an absolute tear this year, and if I were you, I'd vote for him as an all-star.
Well, I don't doubt that he's got a great chance to go to Philadelphia. You look at what's happened in 15 starts. A 9-3 record, the ERA 3.18, and that's happened just a couple of different times. Other than that, he's been absolutely brilliant. He's been very tough to handle here at home, and the wind today is going to be a factor. It's going to carry the ball out to right. It's going to knock it down in left. Let's take a look at the defense, and this is how Will puts them out there with Sam, Tristan, and Braden in the outfield left to right. Then it's Vargas, Montgomery, Meidroth, and Gonzalez in the infield. Drew Romo's got the plate. We told you about Davis Martin.
White Sox a chance to take this series against the Royals. Get set for first pitch here, game 2. Davis Martin fires. And the fastball past Carter Jensen, strike one. Carter Jensen has been on fire. 17-game hit streak he brings into play here today.
And with the injuries that the Royals have had, Jensen has played a big part. He's very strong. He can pull the ball, but also take the ball the other way, but the wind favors him today.
Over the course of the 17 games for Jensen, he's hitting .338, has 11 extra base hits, and 14 runs batted in. The longest active hitting streak in Major League Baseball.
We got Salvi Perez catching today. Jensen is the DH. They both seemingly play every day. There's a lot of the regulars not in the lineup. But the Royals, like every other team at this part of the year, which is exactly halfway, suffering from a lot of key injuries.
Fastball missing in, and a challenge from Drew Romo.
Pitcher's called the ball. Catcher's challenging.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
Chicago has one challenge remaining.
So an early challenge unsuccessful. But it doesn't matter. Strike three. Davis Martin bringing the heat early.
His intention was to keep the ball up on Jensen, which more times than not is very successful against the left-handers. There you see a little extra life on this one. It's up in the zone, and he throws it by him.
This is the big headline for the Royals this series. Bobby Witt Jr., after missing 6 games, came back to the lineup last night as a DH. And his first time playing shortstop here today in over a week.
He's the heart and soul of this team. He's the entire running game. We don't know if he's still going to be able to run. He's had a knee issue. He's healthy enough to play. We'll see how the running game comes along.
He is wearing a brace so that he could still play and avoid the injured list. They walked and scored the Royals' only run in the game last night.
See what he's done lifetime against our Sox has been pretty good. And he's not the entire running game. He's just a huge part of it. He's got 28 stolen bags this year.
You can tell Davis Martin's already in a groove as he stepped out to take his time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's the comfort and the conviction which Davis Martin is pitching with this season that is the noticeable difference.
When you're on a roll, and he is, you want to get the ball and throw it. You get in a rhythm. It's the catcher's duty to get the ball back to you quickly and let the pitcher decide just how quickly he wants to work. In the case of Davis, he wants to work very quickly.
3-2.
Weather presented by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. 74 beautiful degrees. The humidity at 72%, which means the breaking ball is going to break a little bit more. The wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's blowing from the left field corner to the right field corner.
Chopper to short. Colson Montgomery gets rid of it quickly. And there's 2 away to start this game.
Behind the plate today, we got John Libka. Because back in '83, they didn't tell you what his tendencies were. We're not going to tell you here this afternoon. However, the pitchers knew exactly where an umpire's zone was, and they would usually try to exploit that.
Fastball missing in to Jack Caglione. Had a triple in the ball game last night. As he grounds this one to the right side, Gonzalez backing up. The flip to Davis Martin in time. A good 1-2-3 start for the ace of the staff. As the White Sox bats coming up when we come back.
Hi, I'm Chase Mydroth, and here's our lineup for today's game. Leading off in left field, hit by pitch king Sam Ananachi. At third base in the 2-hole, our third baseman, Miguel Vargas. At DH tonight, Andrew Benintendi, Bicep Benny. At shortstop in the 4-hole, our home run king, Colson Montgomery. In the 5-hole, playing second base, Chase Mydroth. In right field today, in the 6-hole, our switch hitting rookie, Braden Montgomery. In center field, our secret weapon, Tristan Peters. At first base tonight in the 8-hole, Jacob Gonzalez. And rounding out the lineup for tonight, our catcher, Drew Romo.
Our thanks to Chase Mydroth for doing that for us. And we found out a little insight on how they feel about each other. Bicep Benny, okay. This is Antonacci as he will fly out to left center field. And Steve, let's take a look at the season numbers for Michael Wacha.
He's 5-5 this year. The Royals are not playing particularly well because they've had a lot of injuries, but you can see with an ERA of 3.5. This is a veteran who doesn't strike out as many guys as he used to. He always has a good overhand hook, and he's making his 17th start, so he's been particularly durable, more durable as he's gotten older.
So many players in the lineup to highlight after the big night last night, but Miguel Vargas had a 3-run home run, 5 runs batted in. And he is now on pace for 101 RBI. Only Robin Ventura, the only other third baseman in White Sox history to accomplish that feat.
Wacha will throw a lot of changeups these days, and that's been pretty much a wipeout pitch for him. When he does go to get you, he doesn't like to throw inside. He'll set up the outside pitch by going in on occasion. But that's where he wants to stay. He wants to stay on the outside corner, especially to the right-hand hitters.
Good count here for Miguel Vargas. 3 balls and a strike. Drills this one to left field, but it's right at the left fielder Collins, out number 2. Even the outs are loud off the bat of Vargas.
Wacha fell behind, and even with pretty good stuff, if you make 2-0, 3-1 pitches and you make a lot of them, they're going to turn into runs.
104 miles per hour off the bat as Andrew Benintendi now steps in. Swings at the first one, grounds to Caglione at first. A quick first inning as we are scoreless after 1 between the Royals and the White Sox.
All right, White Sox and Royals, no score after 1 here on Chicago Sports Network as we look back at the 1983 winning ugly White Sox. And we are joined by one of the great starters of that team, Floyd Bannister. Floyd, what is it like just to first off be back and seeing a lot of your former teammates?
It's a great feeling to come to this awesome ballpark and to be able to see these guys face to face. It's been a long time. It's amazing how time has passed, how many years have passed, but it's great to see these guys. Great memories we've had.
Yeah, I just remember that team. So many memories keep flooding back when I see all of you here. You started out 16-24. You win 99 games. You win the division by 20. How did it happen?
It was one of those things where everything got adjusted on the lineup. Everybody started believing in themselves, and on the second half, we just really turned it on and didn't look back. It was an amazing feeling. We kept pulling for each other, and we wanted each other to excel. It was a great feeling. It was a great team effort.
Well, you know, I mean, the reason the White Sox are playing pitching the way they are pitching because your son has a lot to do with it.
Now your son
if
Brian
you talk
Bannister,
to them,
yeah.
if you talk to him, you help him to help the kids because when you see this kid talk about pitching, it's amazing.
Brian has a real knack for being able to communicate with younger players. I'm very impressed. I got a chance to work with him, and that's actually why I kind of retired from baseball. I got a chance to watch him grow up as a baseball player. He was small and had to learn the basics of the game. And now with the metrics and understanding the mentality of these different young players these days, he's been a big help. I've had a chance to have him share a lot of times what he's talked to about that. And the game has changed, and he knows how to make these players better.
Yeah, so Brian, when he was a kid, he was roaming around Comiskey Park when you were playing for the White Sox, right?
He was. I'll never forget the picture we took with Roland, him and my wife, and my actual second son was my wife's expecting, and Brian's there. He's a little 1-year-old, so yeah, those are good memories.
Yeah, and then the 1983 team, You guys started out struggling, 16-24, like I said, but I've got their numbers here. After July the 12th, Lamar Hoyt was 15-1, Dotson 14-2. You went 13-1. You're combined 42-4 from July 14th on. Did you guys like feed off each other? How did this all happen? Because that is so special.
Well, it was just kind of a combination of a lot of things. Most of it was just guys wanting to go out there and excel, realizing that we wanted to actually do better the next time out every time we went out there. But you have to give credit to our offense and our defense. We had great defense with Harold and all the guys, Rudy and everybody. It was one of those things where Tony was a big believer in getting that first run. So when you got Rudy on, you saw that first run, and you go out there and pitch and you're up 1-0, you feel like you have a big lead, and that confidence just kind of spread with all the extra players.
Well, Ozzie, you showed up 2 years later. Would Ozzie have fit in on that team?
Yeah, Ozzie was a great. We would have loved that Ozzie, but it was fun to see him when he came over as a rookie and just be out there in the infield, watch how hard he worked at it and the skill level he had. That was impressive. I mean, that's a lost art right now with the youngsters, I think, and I hope it comes back. But to see Ozzie out there when I was basically shagging balls and stuff and BP, and to see him out there taking all those ground balls and challenging himself, that was pretty impressive.
It's one thing about I always tell people I appreciate. I tell my kids I grew up with the professional guys. You, Dobson, Podge, Bainsey, Julio, all those guys compete day in, Fisk, compete day in, the receiver. And when you grow up in baseball like that, and you carrying that with you guys, and I think thanks to you guys, plus the coaching staff you guys have was amazing with, Gene Leland and Ricky Boy and Joe Nassig and Tony. I was lucky enough to be with you guys for a long time.
Well, it was one of those things, the guys respected the game. I got a chance to play with Gaylord Perry and Tom Seaver and a lot of great players like Fisk, like you say. He really respected the game. They worked hard, and they realized how fortunate we were to be able to play in the big leagues. Let's face it, I was very, very fortunate to play in the big leagues. There's a lot of guys I played with that had an unbelievable amount of ability that didn't get that opportunity. I got that opportunity as well as those guys did, and we took advantage of it.
Yeah.
1983 is known for winning ugly. Obviously, it was Doug Rader, the manager of the Texas Rangers, who came up with that. Did you guys feel like you were winning ugly, or was it more of a catchphrase?
It was more of a catchphrase. We loved it. Yeah, Doug, he's unbelievable. In fact, he was a manager of the Angels when I was there. But it was an honor. I actually got to have my picture on Sporting News with winning ugly. It was pretty comical, but then again, it was enticing to want to go out there and win a lot of ball games.
Yeah. Roland Heeman, what kind of team did he put together? He was the GM of the Sox.
He was a guy that he was real personable. When I first got to meet him, it was a real privilege. And you look back at his career and what he's done and the people he's affected and the organizations he's put together, it's pretty impressive. I know my wife and I always talk about Roland and how special it was to meet him and the opportunity to come here and play for the Sox.
Well, Floyd, it's been great catching up with you, seeing all you guys back here. It's a special weekend for the '83 White Sox, and we're watching a special team with the current White Sox, and your son's a part of it.
Always fun to be a part of the Sox. It's always great to be here.
Awesome. John, Steve, back to you.
All right, Chuck, Ozzie, thank you so much. Davis Martin finding himself in a bit of a jam here in this top of the second inning. Single to Michael Massey. Salvador Perez doubled off the foul pole. That's what stopped Massey at third. And now the infield in for the Sox. 3-2.
This becomes a key at bat because you've got to throw a ground ball. Davis would love a strikeout. He's had one today.
Fourth full count already for Martin. And another one fouled away by John Rave.
It was a pretty good swing because that looked like a great wipeout pitch. He had committed himself and barely got a top of the baseball.
It's a Royals team that comes in on a 3-game losing streak. But when you've got a guy like Michael Wacha on the mound, you feel that presence, and the Royals certainly have the confidence. Anytime he pitches, they feel like they can win.
Well, normally this early you might play the infield back, concede the run for the out, but Will thinks it's going to be a low-scoring game.
So another one fouled away down that right field line. That is 4 pitches fouled off by Rave this at bat. Davis Martin in a battle here with 1 out.
Pretty good battle is right, as Ray keeps spoiling some very good pitches.
See the infield of Vargas, Montgomery, Meidroth, and Gonzalez in to try to cut off that runner at third. This will be the 11th pitch of the at-bat. Sinker, got him looking, strike three.
He set him up with the hooks and wiped him out with a sinker on the inside corner. That's exactly where Romo wanted it. It might have just barely had a piece of the inside corner. You see the late movement brought it back. This was off the plate. That's what Raves saw, but he didn't see the late movement, and he's called out on strikes.
Third baseman Nick Lofton. How about the confidence in your arsenal to throw a pitch like that in a lengthy at bat for strike three?
That's one of the reasons why he's 9-3 this year. The ability to make that pitch. But that pitch only gets him 2/3 of the way through. You got to concentrate on Lofton, get out of a tough jam here, and that will give not only Davis Martin, but it'll give the team a big lift.
Deep breath from Martin on the mound. 0-2.
For Romo, if he calls a breaking ball, he's got to make sure he smothers anything. Massey's got not great, but decent speed at third base.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts as Davis Martin gets out of this jam in the second.
We'll take a look at the last pitch. Just off the plate. When you're ahead, you do things like that, and Davis Martin really enjoys getting himself out of a very difficult jam. Second and third, and only one out.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the lines to watch presented by Circus Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. Steve, we look at our home run hitters today. Who do you like?
Well, Benny's been swinging it pretty well, so I will go with him.
Benny biceps today.
Yep.
White Sox went down in order in the first. It'll set up 4, 5, 6 in the order for Colson Montgomery. Ground ball up the middle. It is Bobby Witt Jr. And he is not able to make the play.
Most unusual for him. He's just an exceptional shortstop. And we'll watch it again. He's playing in the proper position. But he goes down to try to smother the short hop and can't come up with it. So there's a big break. You're going to spend a lot of games watching him play shortstop and not see anything like that.
See if the White Sox can capitalize with Chase Meidroth as the fastball at the knees, strike one. How about the night for Chase Meidroth? 4 hits, but also just the way he went about his approach at the plate.
Well, I love the fact that he was trying to make some solid contact, giving what the pitchers gave him, and not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. There's certain pitches on certain nights you're just not going to be able to hit home runs. And to differentiate between those pitches and the pitches that you can drive is something that veteran hitters know. Now, he's still very young in this game, but last night was a great step in the right direction.
Meidroth able to spray the ball to all fields. As he's behind in this count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good job of laying off that, because that looked like a strike for a long time and then just dipped out of the zone. Waka's thinking about throwing a ground ball here. You see it right there and then just off the corner.
Meidroth just 24 years old. And those are the type of pitches where when he was looking for power, he was expanding his zone. Montgomery falls back on the bag. Did not have a big lead at first.
Wonka thinking about maybe a hit and run, but not from that lead.
Meijoth chases that one upstairs. Strike 3.
This one looked to be just out of the zone, and it was high and away.
Switch hitting rookie Braden Montgomery, the only player in the lineup last night to start the game that did not get a hit. How would you describe that offensive output by the White Sox last night?
Startling. It's really one of those once in a generation games. I mean, only one time in Sox history had any team ever scored more. That was in 1955. So when you see something like that, just consider yourself lucky to be there. Don't expect to see it again anytime soon.
22 runs, tied for the second most in franchise history. 23 hits. Noticing Waka and Davis Martin both like to work fast on the mound. Back on April 11th, Waka pitched 8 shutout innings in a 2-0 win in Kansas City over the White Sox. That game was under 2 hours.
When Wonka gets most of the left-handers to 2 strikes, he loves to throw that straight change. Both of the home runs that Braden Montgomery has hit have been from the left side.
See what he gets here. 3-2 as he fouls off that cutter. First big league home run was on an 80s throwback broadcast and also on a changeup.
That was too close to take, but it was off the plate. Can't blame him for not wanting to leave it in the hands of John Lipka.
Colts Montgomery on at first. Grounded up the middle, and the flip is Massey. Completes the double play. 6-4-3 turn by the Royals up the middle.
All right, welcome back to Rate Field. No score between the White Sox and the Royals. It is the 1983 reunion going on here, and we are with one of the great players from that 83 squad, Rudy Law. 77 stolen bases back in 83. Take us back to that season, the season you had first, stealing all those bases.
How did I steal them?
Yeah, how did you do it?
Skill, know-how, and looking to make a name for myself, so to speak. I don't know, just that's what my job was. That's what I lived for. I learned from one of the best, Maury Wills. Before I met him, I only stole, 30-some bases because I didn't know how to read pitchers and stuff of that nature. But once I learned how to read pitchers, I always thought stealing from first to second was an automatic. That year I stole 77. I only think I stole third base maybe once or twice all season.
Well, I'm looking back at that season for you. I mean, 77 steals. You had Julio Cruz batting ninth, was also stealing bags. You guys seem to feed off each other.
Yeah. I remember one game we was in Detroit, and who was it? Juan Baron Garrett. You remember him?
Yeah,
right?
Juan, the Panamanian.
Yeah, he threw hard as I don't know what,
Very
right?
hard. You're very hard.
So Julio, it was like he was ninth, of course, and I was first. So comes up and he took like 3 fastballs. And it was strikes. I mean, 3 strikes. So he's like, get out of here. You didn't want none. I was like, you wait till the next time I come up. Next time I came up, I hit a home run off of you. And, you know, the guy, he supplied the power. You just got to get there and make good contact.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
How about those Lakers?
Crazy. What's amazing about that, I was a big Laker fan, and I betted everybody on the team that year, and I lost, and I'm not no more Lakers.
No more Lakers, man. But back in the days, man, I remember Minnesota. You playing left field, playing shortstop. All of a sudden, the Lakers win, and the White Sox losing 10-2. When I got to the dugout, Tony just heard me. I said, "What do you mean? You nobody told him nothing. He's a veteran. You as a kid, you be supposed to do it." But it was fun play with you guys, man. We learned. Yeah. I learned a lot from you guys. I learned how to steal bases, to be aggressive on the base pass, and I appreciate what you guys did for me to make me a better player.
One thing about Ozzie, and I'm not just saying that because he's here, he was probably one of the best shortstops coming up. I mean, he was making plays that were tremendous that other people couldn't make. Plus, he had all this. He was young, and he had all this enthusiasm, so to speak. As he was like young and active. I mean, we were getting older, and he was doing stuff that was surprising, you know.
He brought some youthful energy to the team, right?
Yeah, but you know what? The team, they made me do that because the team we have a bunch of veteran players, play the game right, play the game the right way, and I got that for the rest of my life. How they teach me how to play.
We're going to be joined by Harold Baines later in the game. How clutch was Harold in '83?
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I mean, go back to '82. That's when I first came over here. I told Harold hit a hard 260. You know what I mean? I mean, he should have hit about 350, but he was hitting a lot of atoms. You know what I mean by that? Yeah, he was unbelievable. His outs were hard.
Well, I'm looking at this White Sox team. There's a great catch made there by Drew Romo. And you guys caught fire and you kept winning. And this team is in first place. What does it take to go to the next step, take the next step, and become a winning team that has so much confidence that every time they take the field, they believe they're going to win it?
Games like last night, when you beat a team 22-2?
22-1.
And that, you know, you got confidence, and you get confidence in believing you can win. I was hoping it was another big scoring game today, but Jerry Reinsdorf said it might be 1-0 today.
Well, that's Jerry's. That's the way Jerry thinks.
Well, Rudy, hey, it's been great to see you. Congrats for what you guys did in '83, and it's great to see you guys all back here at the ballpark.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, brother.
I didn't see one inning last night.
Nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you, brother.
All right, back over to you guys.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you so much. What a catch by Drew Romo, slamming into the railing and keeping his concentration to make the grab.
Not an easy play, and he was the closest to it. There was no shot for Vargas, and so Drew kept his concentration, even though he did hit the railing. But a ball always spins back toward the field of play.
It was a leadoff single from Isaac Collins in the 9-hole as we take a look at the wind here at Wright Field.
It's a good changeup, and he's got Caglione, who knows that the wind is blowing toward right field. Not that he needs any more help because he's tremendously strong, but there's the change. He's got Caglione way out in front of it, barely getting a piece.
Two down here in this third inning. Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled away as Caglione breaks his bat.
Collins does have speed, but he hasn't really learned the intricacies of base stealing yet. He's just 4-4 in stolen bases.
A floater into right field as Montgomery gets there. Another strong inning by Davis Martin. As this is shaping up, could potentially be a low-scoring affair here on this Saturday afternoon.
No plans Sunday. We've got got you covered. It's Kids Sunday on Chicago Sports Network as the White Sox close out their series with the Royals. Coverage kicks off with White Sox Countdown Live at 12:30, followed by a fun-filled broadcast for fans of all ages. Stream it live on the CHSN app. Chicago Sports Network full stream ahead.
Bottom three in the order with Tristan Peters out in front of that changeup, pulls it down the line in foul territory, but out of play.
That's why it's tough to sit and wait back on Waka, because he has a lot of different speeds to his pitches. That changeup has gotten much better as he's gotten older. He used to really rely on a big overhand hook. He's throwing less of those, more changes, and the fastball isn't overwhelming, but he spots it very well.
Been fun to find the parallels between the 1983 White Sox and this version of the White Sox. 2026, this team got off to a 6-13 start, worst record in Major League Baseball. But since April 17th, they've had the second best record in the American League, a complete turnaround. 83, they went on to win 99 games and the division. It is just fun to think about what the 2026 White Sox will do.
And you had future Hall of Famer Tony La Russa as the manager of that team, but he had been around a couple of years at that point.
Ground ball and an Ole at first by Caglione.
We'll take another look. Anytime you play the ball off to the side like that, you risk it going into right field. That's one you might have wanted to get in front of, because it hops up into your body. You smother it, at least you make the play. In this case, he did not. Looks to me like E3, and that's the second error of the ball game.
Talking about a future Hall of Famer, Tony La Russa, the manager. You had Carlton Fisk, Harold Baines, and Jim Leland, the third base coach. 4 Hall of Famers as part of that 1983 squad.
Well, there's a lot of people around baseball who remember various coaching and management configurations, think that if that wasn't the best ever, it was probably among the top 2 or 3. Not only the manager, but the coaching staff was solid all the way around. Dave Duncan was a magnificent pitching coach, and he was a catcher when he played. So, I mean, he set the trend for guys who were non-pitchers actually as not only good but great pitching coaches.
Ground ball stopped by Massey, and somehow gets the out at first. What a play by Massey at second.
Time now for the good hands replay presented by Allstate. This is just an outstanding effort. Massey knocks it down, controls it, and able to make the play at first base, taking a sure base hit away from Gonzalez. Caglione able to keep his foot on the bag.
There's always those players who just rise to the occasion when they see the White Sox, and Michael Massey is that guy for the Royals.
Not only swinging the bat, but playing the field.
With injuries to Vinny Pasquantino and Michael Garcia, guys like Massey are going to have to step up. There's some more opportunities around in terms of playing time.
Also takes away some pretty good defense on the corners in the infield. Also, this inning shakes up completely different, because let's say he knocks it down but can't make the play. Then you get Romo perhaps laying one down to put runners at second and third. The infield has to come in. It's a completely different look for Waka and puts a lot more pressure on him. Instead, it's one out, a runner at second.
First runner in scoring position today for the White Sox. As the sinker lands, strike 3.
Wacha leans back a little bit here, and you see the late movement. I mean, he's at 97. That's the fastest he's thrown today, and he used it in a big spot.
It's up to Sam Antonacci now, top of the order. First time through, the White Sox still do not have a hit off of Wacha. Broken bat. It is charged by Massey. Has to rush the throw, but the sidearm deliver gets there in time. As the Sox strand that runner at second. After 3, no score here in Chicago. Rate is a proud partner of the 2026 White Sox. The Rate app gives Chicago fans an all-in-one wellness app with tools to build financial strength and guidance for fitness and stress management. Feel better, live better, play better. Download the Rate app today.
Davis would love a very fast inning here because he was in a big jam in the second, had a leadoff single last inning. So 1-2-3 would look pretty good, but Lane Thomas has had a lot of luck against Davis during the course of his career. He hasn't faced him very much, but he was 2 for 2 coming in, and then a pop-up on the first pitch in the second inning.
Drew Romo thought about challenging there, but he fired one and missed early in the game, so he thought he wanted to just save it.
Yeah, I think if he had 2 left, he might have taken a second look at that.
Davis Martin had to work around some traffic in the second inning.
I thought it was real interesting because before the pitch was on the way, Tristan Peters, who was around just to the left of center, trotted just to the right of center, seeming that he's going to keep the ball away from Thomas.
Now moves back to his right and makes the catch in center field. Let's go back to the studio with Chuck.
All right, thanks, John. And we are with the Bull, Greg Luzinski. What a season he had in '83 with the White Sox. So your memories of that special team, that special season.
Well, you know, we started slow, to be honest with you, and then we picked it up, and nobody could beat us. Basically, we won some games, and it was a great team. You know, Fisk behind the plate, and I told Tony, I said, that's probably the best pitching staff starting that I ever played with. I mean, those guys were outstanding, you know, and we had a nice offensive lineup, you know, Bainsey, myself, Kittle, you know, Fisk. So, but York added on.
Of good hitters there.
Yeah, we had a lot of good hitters. So, you know, you put a few runs on the board for that team and you win.
I feel like the secret sauce to that team might have been Jerry Koosman. What kind of impact did he have?
Well, Kuz and myself were close. You know, and Tony called us in. He said, you know, you two guys are the leader in the clubhouse, so you take care of business for us. So basically, we did that. You know, if Tony had any kind of problems, he'd call us in and say, hey, you know, you talk to the guys about this and that, and it was very close. I mean, you know, on the road, Kuz and myself used to get a suite. We used to have everybody come up. We had refreshments there for them, and if there was any, say, bitches or complaints, you know, they let them out, and we discussed it and we talked it out. So, you know, we were a very close-knit team.
You love the old school part of the
really
'83
does.
squad.
One thing, when I started playing with the White Sox in '85, it wasn't, maybe Kuz and him is the only one who wasn't here. Yeah. They're still doing it. You know, we go on the road, and Tony go, hey, 10 minutes, win this suite, and everybody got to go over there and, you know, talk about baseball. I don't know why Tony always want the team to talk about baseball.
No question about it. I talked to him in Philly at the barbecue. He came out there for 3 days and sat with me. Not only did he sit with me, he signed autographs for the fans. And, you know, we get along really well. he's the best manager I played for. He was very young when I came over here, but what a great guy, great manager.
Yeah,
Ozzie,
yes.
you were there in '85. I missed you by a year.
Yeah, but he was a great guy. To Gene Leland, Ricky Boyd, so many great coaching staff.
Our coaching staff was good. Eddie Brinkman was
Yeah,
there.
Ricky Boyd.
People forget about Charlie Lau.
Charlie's one of the best.
Charlie was there. Like you said, Jimmy Leland. In fact, Jimmy Leland and I were friends at Coos. So we were like the oldest guys on the team. So every now and then Leland would say, come on, we'll go out and, after a game and we'll talk baseball, sit down and have a beer. And we did. And we got 2 Hall of Famers, and Tony La Russa there and Jim Leland.
I was talking with Tony earlier this week, and I say the only thing is that team was so good because the coaching staff, you can get along with the coaching staff very well.
Yeah, they blended in very well with us, and we learned baseball. I came from another team in Philadelphia, and there were times that I went in Tony's office and I said, look, man on second base, I don't get him over. He says, why? I said, I didn't learn that. He said, what do you mean? I said, I learned to drive him in. That was my job.
Yeah.
So, after that, Tony said, all right, go ahead.
Drive him in?
Drive him in. So if I didn't, I'd come back to the bench. I wouldn't look at him.
What was it like hitting a ball over the roof at Comiskey Park?
Well, that old ballpark has a lot of tradition in it. And to be able to do that is obviously a tremendous feat. I did it 3 times in 1 year. So,
you did it 3 times. Double play by the White Sox. They're going to break. Greg, it's great to see you.
All right, guys.
Thank you,
Go Sox, go.
Good luck on your business in Philadelphia.
You got it, baby.
I love you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a bit.
Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner. We appreciate you as always for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. Alongside my guy, Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. The pitchers have been in command early on in this one.
Been a beautiful day, and this is the second time through the order. Miguel Vargas was the guy that hit the ball the hardest against Wacha. Let's hope a little more success. He hit it right at Collins in left field.
104 miles per hour off the bat. The line out by Vargas his first time up. As he lays off that high heater. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last time out for Wacha, it was Monday in Tampa Bay, and he beat the Rays 2-1, a place that is not very easy to win.
No, he's one of those guys that will be talked about at the trade deadline.
Off the glove of Lofton as Miguel Vargas is digging for 2. Collins, his throw to second, and they got him. Vargas trying to get aggressive, make something happen, but a good throw from left field.
Collins did a nice job of hustling to the ball and making a pinpoint throw to second. Just off the glove of Lofton. It didn't deaden it enough where Collins could get to it right away. Comes up throwing. It's a 1-hop throw. And it looked at first like Massey wanted to appeal a call that was an out call.
Benintendi is shot to center field as Thomas turns around. At the warning track is where he will make the catch.
Let's take a look at the play at second base again as Benny hits it awfully hard. It's pretty close at second base. Watch the hand. Tags him right there. No chance to take a second look at it.
It's one of the many things that's on the opponent's advanced scouting report. White Sox are being very aggressive with their turns around first base and will take second if you do not come up throwing an alert in the outfield.
And that's been one of the characteristics of this team.
Colson Montgomery, that one will land into right field. This half inning is brought to you by Davis Law.
Sox are getting much better at bats the second time through the order. Even Benny.
That is where Waka has lived. Either that cutter or the fastball up in the zone so far. As he got Maedroth swinging his first time up with a ball just high out of the zone. Oh, 2 pitch. Telling Waka wants to get a little extra something on the heater. He's dialed it up to 97 so far today.
This is the second time Chase Maedroth has worked it to 3-2.
So Colson Montgomery will be off with the pitch as the other Montgomery, Braden, waits on deck.
Get a good lead at first with Caglione way back at first.
Three-two. It is popped up into shallow right field as Rave will make the grab and end this 4th inning. After putting up 22 runs last night, the White Sox looking to
I'm here with my dad, Scott Fletcher, who was the shortstop for the 1983 White Sox. Dad, you look great. The jersey looks good on you, but just how would you describe what the last few days have been like?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun just to see a lot of the guys that have come back. We've been able to reminisce, go down like memory lane a little bit and talk about the season and just what they've been doing, and it's just been a blast.
Yeah, I also saw you catching up with the fans, and they had all the merch for you to sign, but you talk about just the stories. What's your favorite memory from this team?
I think one of the greatest memories is just when we clinched it finally. You know, when you see Harold Baines ready to hit Julio Cruz on third, tagging up on the fly ball. Julio's the guy we acquired, you know, in the second half of the season. It was just such a big part of the season. And Harold, who's always driving in the big runs, you know, finished it off. We clinched the division, and we're ready to go into the playoffs.
Win of the division over the Royals by 20 games in 1983. Good jump in right field by Braden Montgomery. All right, let's get your assessment on Davis Martin, how he's pitched so far here today.
Well, he's been in a couple of jams, but he's pitched out of them. That jam in the second inning was tough. He had second and third, only one out, struck out Rave, struck out Lofton to get out of it. Leadoff hitter Collins got on, and he's a base stealing threat, got out of that inning. So all things considered, Davis is throwing very well. He's had to because Michael Wacha seems to be at the top of his game. He's also one of those guys that might be at the top of everybody's wish list at the trade deadline.
Royals come into play today 34-49, last in the AL Central. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do, if they will be sellers. Popped up as Romo runs just out of room as it falls into the Royals dugout.
You're not going to get much help on that side like he did on the other side in that fine catch earlier in the game, but it's yet to be determined who are going to be the buyers, who's going to be the sellers. There's a couple of teams that look like for sure they're going to sell. Boston being one of them, 13.5 games out of first place. But a lot of other teams think they still might have a shot. Good couple of weeks, and you never really know. Kansas City waiting to try to get healthy. But the question is, will they get healthy enough to consider themselves a contender for a wild card?
Fly ball left field as Antonacci makes the catch. Also Rafael Devers. San Francisco has let people know that he is available. There's a bunch of other players on the Giants squad right now who are potentially out there and available.
Well, I'm sure he is available, and I'm also sure that that is an egregiously large contract. Just as he was available from Boston, San Francisco decided to take most of that contract, if not all of it. And that'll be the determination for all GMs. Can he help you? Most likely he can. Pretty good solid player. But then you make a decision how much of any contract you want to take. And it's not just Devers, it's all players. How much are you willing to take? What are you willing to give up? And that's the calculus that every GM is trying to make at this point. But first things first, the draft is coming up, and the Sox have 1-1. That's going to be a determination. But every team will draft most likely, not necessarily for need exactly, but they always talk about best player available. And there are a couple of good shortstops and a catcher right atop that wish list that everybody has. And so whether it's Emerson or Cholowski, there's a couple of other guys that fit in, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen. Either way, that's going to be exciting. And then a lot of teams will worry about what they want to do at the deadline, depending on what happens, not only until the All-Star break, but directly after the break.
A little more spread out this year, as the Major League Baseball draft is set for July 11th and 12th in Philadelphia. And the trade deadline pushed back to Monday, August the 3rd.
Still think they might want to change it up, maybe make the draft a little earlier so that you can really concentrate on one thing at a time.
Broken bat, slow roller as Mydroff makes the play. A quick 1-2-3 fifth inning for the ace of the staff, Davis Martin.
Follow our White Sox at ChicagoSportsNetwork.com, presented by Nationwide Insurance Agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
Another big crowd here at Wright Field for Game 2 of this series against the Royals.
And just a beautiful day for baseball.
And we look at the final score from last night, 22 runs scored. It's easy to talk about all the offensive numbers, but what can get lost, how good the pitching was for the White Sox last night, starting with David Sandlin called up, and he dealt. Ground ball the other way. And Montgomery will pick up his first hit.
From the left side, this is what Braden does, and this is up and out of the strike zone, but he goes up and gets it. Promising way to start the fifth inning. Lofton was way off the line in this scoreless game. Sandlin was very good last night, because there was a shaky time in the fourth inning where he walked the first three guys, came away after the double play with only 1 run scoring. That was really, for the Sox, the key inning of the game, because it just turned the offense loose. And for Sandlin, very much the key inning of the game. And then the pen came on and did a fine job. So you tend to lose a little bit of the thought of pitching when you're putting up the kind of runs that the Sox put up.
Jordan Hicks, Brandon Iser, Trevor Richards all came on through an inning each, scoreless baseball. And what that did was it reset the bullpen. So everybody got a chance to get a little rest. A very nice job by the bullpen last night. Tristan Peters lays off that high curveball, ball 2.
Lofton is sitting there weighing on the grass, taking the bunt away. But if there would be a bunt, you'd want to put the pressure on Caglione at first base and drag it with you. At this point, you're not thinking bunt. You're thinking about getting a real good pitch to hit because you're way ahead in the count. Wacha has not walked anybody to this point.
3-1. Big hack by Peters, and he sends that one out of play on top of the Sox dugout. May have been winning ugly early for Tristan Peters in terms of bunting, but he has been slugging as of late.
In a doubles machine, and there is a big gap in right center field.
Swing and a miss, throw down to second. They strike him out, throw him out.
Will wants to take a look at it, and he says play on. Got a pretty good jump. He looks back to see if there's contact, and Witt is right there. It's a high throw, but he's got the hand before the bag.
That's why 36 years old, Salvador Perez still getting it done behind the plate.
Pitcher's called the ball. Catcher's challenging.
So a challenge by the Royals. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Royals have 2 remaining.
So call overturned. Strike 1 to Jacob Gonzalez. Came into play today with 5 hits in his last 6 at bats. That broke up an 0 for 28 drought. So it was awesome to see him really get back on track last night.
Wacha has really got a lot of mileage out of those high cutters today.
It's been high cutters, high fastballs, high sinkers.
Then he'll throw that changeup, which darts down and away from the left-hand hitters, which makes him really tough. Good pitchers duel. Davis Martin, Michael Wacha. And there is the change low and away that ends the inning.
Welcome back to Rate Field, and it is the 1983 reunion, and we've got one of the all-time greats with us, the one and only Harold Baines. There is your statue, and here is the real thing, Harold Baines. What's it been like seeing all your old friends, your old teammates from '83?
Very nice. At least a couple of them. It's been 40 years since I've seen them.
Like who?
Lorenzo Gray, Dennis Lamp. I haven't seen in a while. I mean, I've seen Lozinski probably 10 years ago, but those 2 guys mostly.
Do you have a question for your teammate about '83, Ozzie?
I don't know. What's the most important thing for you in that year when you have a great year?
I was learning how to put things behind me. You know, I might have had 3 hits the day before, but that didn't make a difference. A new day, so I just concentrated on the present and not the future.
Did Charlie help you a lot, Charlie Lau?
Charlie Lau.
Charlie took me from 39 RBIs to over 100 in my last 5 years.
How do you do that?
Being smart at the plate, knowing what they're going to throw you in certain situations. Part of the plate is theirs, part of the plate is mine. And if you trust what he's telling you, it'll work.
You said something really interesting to me when you came over here. You said, how do you concentrate, up here with all this stuff going on here? I'm like, man, you were the most calm, cool, and collected guy at the plate. How did you do that?
I had mouths to feed. Very easy. I mean, I love baseball, so you play. I've been playing it since I was 8 years old.
Take us back to September 17th, 1983. You drive in the game. Oh, we're gonna have a pitching change here. You drive in the winning run to clinch the division. How special was that?
It was very special. Julio Cruz scored a run. We had a great team. Unfortunately, we didn't play well in the playoffs, but overall, it was a great season.
Who's your best buddy? Besides me, everybody know. In that particular, the way you treat me as a player, as a friend, who's the guy you say, this guy was my right-hand man, or the guy I can lean to it?
It wasn't one particular guy. I learned from the older guys like Fiss and Lazinski the way they carried themselves, and I tried to do the same thing on and off the field.
What was this celebration like in that clubhouse? Look at Tony La Russa and everybody. What was that night like?
I had champagne all over my eyes, so I really couldn't see that well. And I didn't drink back then. I don't drink now neither, but it was very fun. I was happy for the guys, older guys, that never experienced that. And that was my first time experiencing it.
Here's what was crazy. The White Sox clinched the division on September the 17th. On September 18th, right before the game, it was a day game. Right before the game, who went up on the roof of Old Comiskey Park to plant the flag? Do you remember this at all?
Mike Squire?
Mike Squires. I was there as a fan, and then he played in the game. He's on the roof. He plants the flag and then comes down and got a single in the first inning. Mike Squires, you can look it up.
Mr. Utility. I mean, that's the only left-handed third baseman I've ever seen. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
He's a great guy also.
What did Tony La Russa mean to this team?
I had Tony since I was 18 years old, so he kept it structured. I mean, he was always trying to get the edge. Be ready for the 7th, 8th, and 9th for sure. But he was always looking for the edge. That was his favorite words.
It's right there. I was talking to Tony early this week about the reunion, and he told me the biggest thing they have with you guys was the coaching staff. He said the coaching staff they have in that particular moment is the one get along with the players very well.
It was the older coaching staff, and they kept it loose. Jim Leland, even Norm Babe when he was there, and David Nelson kept it loose for us, and they taught us how to play the game. We were young, very young, and they taught us how to play the game.
Well, we have a no-score situation here. There were some 1983 games that would be like this, and then you find a way to win. Why was it so obvious?
That's just the nature of baseball.
That's what Jerry Reinsdorf apparently said. He said after 22 runs last night, this is going to be a low-scoring game.
I mean, it's a different pitcher, too. You just put it behind you and come out and play hard today.
All right, so do we see a winning ugly victory coming for the White Sox? They are finding ways to win. Are you noticing that?
I'm very impressed with this young team. They're doing everything right, and hopefully they can keep it up the next 3 months.
All right. Harold Baines, it is great to see you, as always, and it's a special weekend for you guys. And what do you want to say, Ozzie?
Hey, grandfather of the year.
I thought you were the grandfather of the year.
I'm halfway to catch him.
I got 9 grandkids.
All right. Grandfather of the Year, 1983 Hall of Famer Harold Baines. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much. What a day honoring the winning ugly 1983 Chicago White Sox.
Sean Newcomb comes in the ballgame in relief of Davis Martin, who left Bobby Witt Jr. at second base in a scoreless game, but there's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Davis Martin finished with 87 pitches as he gave up that double to Bobby Witt Jr. on at second. One on the count here to Lane Thomas. The high leverage guys have all been rested and are available out of the bullpen here today.
This is where you really want to be careful because you have the left-handed Massey in the on-deck circle. Newcomb has been just brilliant recently. And he is a guy that can give you multiple innings.
Swing and a miss. Nasty breaking ball from Sean Newcomb as they strand that runner at second.
Today's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank is Chicagoland's trusted neighborhood bank and home lender. So level up your banking with Marquette Bank at emarquettebank.com. Marquette Bank, love where you bank.
Drew Romo, bottom of the order, leads things off for the Sox here in this home half of the 6th inning. He went down looking his first time in the 3rd. He will fly to left as Collins shielding his eyes from the sun with the catch. It's time now for a message from Enkin Law.
Colson, it's important to put the work in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Practicing early, staying late helps me stay locked in.
And if you've been injured, my team is here to help you. Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal. That's Enkin Law.
All right, 3rd time through the order, and the White Sox have not had many opportunities off Michael Wacha. And Antonacci, very smart, making sure that he does not look at the pitcher until 8 to slow down the rhythm of Wacha on the mound. Turns on this one into right field as Rave racing towards the line, and he makes the catch in foul territory.
Keeping his concentration all the way before just easing into the net. This is the one guy that has solved Wacha a couple of times.
White Sox with just 3 hits, one of them by Miguel Vargas, where he singled but was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double at second. This one in the air to left center field. Just a 5-pitch inning from Michael Wacha, who has been lights out so far for the Royals. Grab yourself a cold beverage, enjoy the sun, and enjoy a tight ball game. Top of the 7th, and we are still scoreless between the White Sox and the Royals. A bunt, a barehanded throw, but Gonzalez unable to scoop it at first.
That's exactly what you want to do with a left-hander on the mound, because he falls off the base to the 3rd base side, falls off the mound rather, and you want to bunt it right at the second baseman, because then more times than not you're going to be able to beat the play at first base, as Massey shows there. So he's been on base all 3 times. This is just a great bunt. Good thought process, good execution, and a do-or-die play for Meidroth. If he gets it there on the fly, maybe, but you've got to grip it and throw it in the same motion, and it's much easier said than done.
So Tyler Tolbert will be the pinch runner at first. We have actually been on the mound the last 2 games for the Royals, but now some speed here replacing Massey.
One place you don't have speed is in the batter's box.
Runner goes to second, and a stolen base for Tolbert.
Will wants to take another look to see if he caught the foot on the swipe tag, and it's play on. Gets a real good jump, and that was a straight steal, meaning he never looked back for contact, And Perez knew not to swing.
Now he's trying to take third. The throw for Romo not in time. As Newcomb not paying attention to Tolbert on the base paths.
They're going to take another look at it at third, but with the speed burner, you got to look at him a couple times. When you don't look at him at all, now he's at third in a scoreless game with nobody out, and he makes it easily. That forces the infield in at all 4 positions. And 2 stolen bags by Tolbert.
So Starlin Marte will be the pinch hitter. And the infield for the White Sox forced to come in. It was a bunt, pinch runner, and a couple stolen bases, applying some pressure now with 1 out in this 7th inning.
That was going to be a pickoff play, but Romo lost the handle. It's a good idea. You dive behind the right-hand hitter because a base runner can't see it. But nice job by Tolbert. You want to come back in fair territory. Try to take the angle away.
One ball, 2 strikes to count. As the fastball missing up, ball 2. Just 5 hits for the Royals. 3 hits for the White Sox. And it becomes critical to try to cut down this run with the shadows now creeping over home plate. It's going to be much difficult for the hitters as this game goes on.
It's been tough enough to deal with Walker without the shadows.
And Newcomb lost in ball 4. So Drew Romo looking into the dugout to decide what they're going to do. If the Royals decide to put Marte in motion at first. The Royals trying to manufacture something, as we saw. Lofton square around there. Butch down the bunt. Newcomb, he's coming home. The glove flip in time. What a play by Sean Newcomb.
Well, for Sean, that was the only play he had, because this was to his glove side. And the flip and the throw is right there to cut him down, leaving runners at first and second. No runs scored yet. Great flip. Big play. And still a scoreless game with runners at first and second. But now there are 2 outs.
I mean, he made that play look easy, but it was bang, bang. And once you're flipping with the glove, you do not have much control.
No, and that's something that most people don't work on a great deal, because when you're trying to make a flip with your glove, many times the ball goes straight up in the air. That one was a perfect Perfect throw to Romo, giving him plenty of time to then apply the tag.
Biggest play of the game so far, but not out of the woods just yet. First and second with 2 down. As the breaking ball misses outside, it's now 3-0 the count. Isaac Collins in the 9-hole is 1 for 2 today. And ball 4, bases are now loaded.
Zach Bove comes out. So very quick conversation. This is the first time Newcomb's going to have a look at Jensen, probably giving him a scouting report.
Jensen 0 for 3 against Davis Martin as the fastball missing outside. An offense that has been so up and down, Carter Jensen has been the most consistent bat over the last 3 weeks.
This is where the lefty advantage evens out.
Shake off from Newcomb as he's trying to find the strike zone. This one is ripped into right field. The Royals are getting on the board with 1. The throw home, and they've got Lofton hung up. And that's why you make sure to check the runner as Romo alert gets him at third. But the White Sox will have to come from behind as the run did score a 1-0 game. It's time to stretch. Bottom of the 7th we go. White Sox trail 1-0 against the Royals. As Andrew Benintendi starts things off 3-4-5 to the plate.
Hit the ball very hard last time up. That coming into 4th inning.
Big defensive play to cut off that second run and get that runner at third base.
Braden Montgomery has a huge arm in right field. And this was very accurate. The base running, not so good. So there's a 1-run that scored. Braden charging aggressively. Airmails it to the plate. And then Lofton with a bad piece of base running just hung out to dry. Very strong play by the young right fielder.
One, 2. As Benny sends another one into the seats. Couple defensive changes for the Royals. So Turbot, who went in as a pinch runner, will stay in and play second, and Marte, who pinch hit, will stay in and play right. Benintendi going the other way. How about that approach? As a leadoff single for Bicep Benny.
There's a tying run, and this is another changeup. And Benny does a nice job. You can move out with the front foot as long as you keep your hands back long enough. And when you do, you don't overswing. You take it the opposite way and dump it into left center field.
So some speed for the White Sox as Luis Angel Acuna is the pinch runner replacing Benintendi.
Grant Taylor throwing in the pen for the Sox. Wacha almost automatically uses a slide step, which makes it more difficult to run on. Salvi Perez has already gunned down one today.
Pulls Montgomery 1 for 2, a single and a reach on an error his first time up. As Wacha's given up just 4 hits today. Wacha up over 80 pitches. This is number 83 in the ball game. Nope, he'll go to first. He's had a few single-digit pitch innings, 8 in the first, 5 in the 6th inning. There's the changeup again. Montgomery swings through, out number 1.
Late to the game, we've got you covered. With the CHSN app, you can hide the scores, start from the beginning, or watch full game replays on demand. Get in the game today at subscribe.chsn.com so you can never miss an out. Chicago Sports Network, full stream ahead. Because Wacha has stayed away for the most part against Mydroth, there is a big hole on the right side. Caglione having to hold Acuna close, and Tolbert playing pretty much up the middle.
There goes Acuna in his line, and Tolbert sold out to try to make the play, and he couldn't get there. Acuna will end at third. An aggressive play does not pay off for the Royals.
The hit and run is on, and the Sox haven't done a whole lot of that, but on the short hop, Tolbert, who just came in the game as a pinch runner, tries to make this play. It's a really difficult play to make. He makes the dive, and credit Acuna with noticing where the baseball was. He doesn't trip over Tolbert. He heads to third base, putting runners at the corners. There's only one out. And Braden Montgomery, who had a base hit in the 5th inning, that hit coming to left field, comes up in a key situation. Now Perez went out there to have a talk with his infield and with Wacha on what he's going to do if Mydroth takes off. I want to make sure everybody in the infield's on the same page. They're going to be in at the corners, but they're going to play about halfway in the middle looking for 2.
Starting to see some shirts come off. Whipped above the head of the fans here at Rate Field. Chopper to the right side as Tolbert goes to second for 1. And that's all they'll get as the run does score. We've got a tie game here in the 7th.
That's the 8th run driven in by Montgomery, who's got a base hit to go with it. And this little chopper ties up the game because of the heads up base running of Acuna. So a nice job by Will to put the hit and run on, and then a nice job of recognition by Acuna, seeing where the ball went into center field.
Peters out in front of that changeup. This has been what we've seen from the White Sox this year. Giving up a run in the top half and answering right back to tie the game. And it was a single from Benintendi that started things off, going the other way into left field.
And waiting back on a changeup, which for Walker has been a big pitch for him this afternoon.
Just like the team back in 1983. Had 38 comeback wins. That led Major League Baseball as they look on to this 2026 squad. A lot of parallels between both teams.
Except it's not going to take 99 wins to win the division this year.
2-2 as Peters swings through that sinker to end this 7th inning. White Sox get a run and tie it up.
The Chicago White Sox are proud to honor our hero of the game. Today we pay tribute to World War II veteran Sergeant Steve Solowski of the United States Army.
What a moment before the game when everyone saw him get up out of the wheelchair and deliver the first pitch. Our GovX hero of the game.
Call to the Pen is brought to you by Orland Toyota, and it's Grant Taylor. And this is the key out of the inning. He's their speed guy. He's their best player, and he's leading off in a tie ball game.
Made an error early in the game, and you wondered if the knee was bothering him, but he ripped a double his last time up in the 6th, looking more like Bobby Witt Jr.
He's still an outstanding player, and they certainly missed him in the 6 games that he missed, but he came back as a DH yesterday. Said he felt good enough to play the field today, and here he is.
Breaking ball, pounded into the ground at 3rd. Vargas gets rid of it quickly. A good pick by Gonzalez.
And a real heady play by Vargas at 3rd, knowing that Witt is just a speed burner. He had to pull it across. Watch how quickly he gets rid of it. Uses the grass on the skip throw. And a nice play on the back end by Gonzalez. This is a big hop, not an easy play. And Witt out by a full step.
Just a silly curveball from Grant Taylor. Lands the first one for a strike, and then that one. So much more tilt on it.
You got your choice. You can throw letter high fastball or another hook away. And he chose a slider. Neither of the above, but it's very effective. Good location on the inside part of the plate. Made sure he couldn't get his arms out. And it doesn't have to move a lot. It just has to move a little. And that's all it took for Caglione to swing over the top.
Sinker 100 miles per hour at the knee. Strike 1. I'd say Grant Taylor looks pretty rested right now at 102.
Well, if he gets out of this with another pitch or 2, he might easily be able to go another inning.
Take a seat. Back-to-back strikeouts. Just a 9-pitch 8th inning for Grant Taylor. This way. Alongside Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. Michael Wacha, the starter, still on the mound as we start this home half of the 8th.
Bullpen is up and going for Kansas City, however, just in case.
Popped up. As Lofton comes in, and he will make the grab to retire Jacob Gonzalez.
Daniel Lynch, the 4th, throwing in the pen.
So a pinch hitter for the White Sox. It's going to be Kyle Teel coming off the bench for Drew Romo in the 9-hole.
And normally a sprint to the mound means that Wacha's going to stay in the game. They just want to give him scouting report on Teel.
The scouting report is that Teel looks good. Last night hit his first home run of the season. It is a bat that has been missed, as the White Sox have not had much production from the catching position offensively. So with one out, Kyle Teel versus Michael Wacha.
That was a high change, and pinch hitters come off the bench looking for first ball fastball. He didn't get it.
How about that? A changeup and a curveball. Cold off the bench. 1-1 the count. Ooh, there's the heater.
Still got plenty left. I mean, we've seen him top out at 97. He only hit that once, but we've seen a lot of 94, and that was 95.
One-two to Teel. Paints the outside corner, strike 3.
Cal got worked over here. That's a perfect pitch, just barely had a piece of the corner. He didn't get too much to hit in that at bat.
So another lefty coming up, and the Royals are going to stay with Wacha on the mound. They have the lefty warm and ready.
If Sam can keep it alive, the guy who has the best look at Wacha today is in the on-deck circle, and Miguel Vargas. Five singles. That's been it against Michael Wacha, who's been absolutely brilliant.
Because he's making pitches like that, he could just place every pitch in his arsenal so far today.
That's why, low these many years, he's still hanging around. 1 run in 15 2/3.
Slashed into left field, and it's going to drop. So Sam Antonacci picks up his first hit today.
It's a fastball, and Sam able to just dump it into left field, representing the go-ahead run. The outfield back playing a no double set, meaning they're pretty much straight away, but they're deeper than normal, trying to cut off the gaps of a double.
They are pushing Wacha. He's at 102 pitches. His season high is 105.
This is a very tired bullpen for Kansas City. That and Michael Wacha is the ace of this staff. But you got the one guy in this lineup that has seen him pretty well 3 straight times. Ed Potrero saying, I'm going to go with my best. And I give Vargas the 3-0 green light right here.
Mike Vassell, where's that little magic wand right now? There it is. 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk. That White Sox walk is brought to you by IDOT. You drive, you text, you pay. It's not a game.
Acuna is being brought back. And that's going to be it for Wacha. With Randall Grichuk undoubtedly already announced. So he takes the baseball from one of the real good pitchers in baseball, who will depart for Daniel Lynch IV. Kind of interesting. You bring in a lefty to face a righty. But the righty had a whole lot of pitches. So as he walks off, we're going to step out with the game on the bases and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Truck buyers.
All right, new pitcher on the mound to face the pinch hitter Randall Grichuk. Missing with a fastball, ball 1.
Daniel Lynch IV against a man who has been very tough off the bench, Randall Grichuk.
Grichuk has 3 pinch hit home runs with the White Sox this season. And the White Sox lead Major League Baseball with 6 pinch hit home runs as a squad.
Go ahead run out at second base.
Changeup land, strike 1.
Changeup on 2-0 shows you that he doesn't mind potentially walking him to get to the left-hander in the on-deck circle.
Way inside, ball 3. Grichuk has been a lefty killer so far this season since coming over to the White Sox.
That's why he's still in the game. His ability to hit left-handers, and they're straight away all the way around. Now a big advantage, because with 2 outs and a full count, the runners will be going.
Three-two. Broken bat, slow roll to the left side. It is lofted as Grichuk is retired. After 8 here.
From the family, it's your special moment of the lineup and the ball for you, making history of being the first female Chicago White Sox baseball analyst. I think it just shows all your hard work, the passion, everything that you've put in to get here. Your mom and I are extremely proud of you. So thankful for you. And it's not just this moment for the fans, but also what you've done, the doors that you've opened for others to hopefully one day have the opportunity that you have enjoyed. So we love you and thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Very cool moment before the game as Brooke spending some time with her family here on the throwback game honoring the 1983 White Sox squad.
That was really nice and a great remembrance of a historic couple of days for Brooke Fletcher. Well deserved, and she did a great job, and we certainly all thank her very much.
So Grant Taylor stays on to start this 9th inning, and he will deal with a pinch hitter, Josh Rojas. Taylor worked a quick 1-2-3 8th inning. As Kyle Teal will stay in the game and he will catch now.
Yes, he did.
Did he go around? Yes. Sean Barber the call at third. That's 3 straight punch outs now.
You just have to hope to lay off this because nobody in the world is going to be able to hit it. But it breaks so sharply straight down that Rojas started his swing. Nice block by Teal. That was a tough ball to handle for him because that wasn't a short hop. That was a long hop. He was able to make sure it didn't get by and that Rojas did not wind up at first base.
Salvador Perez nods his head. He said, okay, I see the curveball. Fly ball right center field as Peters calls for it to make the catch.
And a nice job by Montgomery because the center fielder is always the captain on the play. Regardless of whether you think you can make the catch, as soon as you hear the voice of the center fielder, you have to give ground and let him make the play. He's yelling here, he's got it. Braden just backs away, which is exactly what he should do. And they get the second out.
Slider, strike one to Marte. As that is the first pitch that has missed the strike zone from Grant Taylor since coming on in the 8th inning.
Boy, he's looked overwhelming so far. Just one more out to get here in the 9th and turn it over to the offense. There was a break because that one was hugging the line and finally went foul with DJ Rayburn on the call.
White Sox fans rising to their feet. Loving the effort from Grant Taylor. Slider got him as Grant Taylor lets out a roar. 4 punch outs over 2 innings. We've seen some really good pitching today, and it sets the stage for this bottom of the 9th.
You've seen the 2 extremes, a blowout in the ball game last night and a tough and tight pitchers duel here this afternoon.
Fastball missing in, ball 1 here to Colson Montgomery. He is 1 for 3 today as Josh Rojas stays in the game and will play second. White Sox have 6 walk-off wins this season. That is tied for 2nd most in Major League Baseball. Popped up. Lynch came on to finish out the 8th. Got Randall Grichuk to ground out. As Montgomery sprays this one into left field, it's going to drop. The winning run is on to start this bottom of the 9th.
Lofton is looking butt at third base. He's weighing on the grass.
And Majdrop pokes it past Lofton, who is in. Couple singles to start it off.
That took away any angle. If he was back at his normal position, he might have a shot at that. If he does, there's a chance for a double play ground ball. But because he's in on the grass, that changeup winds up in left field. You see where he is? No chance at all. And the only run that counts is Montgomery at second. And now everybody meeting at the mound with 2 on, nobody out. Maedras' run doesn't mean a thing. The big one is out at second base in Colson Montgomery.
Well, the last time we had an 80s broadcast, it was Braden Montgomery at the plate.
A dramatic game-ending home run. They're back in the middle.
And Montgomery puts down a perfect bunt. Lynch fields, throws to third, and he drills Lofton, who is now down.
That was just a great bunt by Braden Montgomery. And he wasn't expecting a rocket of a throw.
Wow. I mean, he was just feet away from his third baseman and just threw a laser at him.
Yep.
And then just kind of casually walked by him when he was down on the ground.
We'll watch it again. This is a perfect bunt because you want to bunt it to third base. Lynch was the one who got to it. And then a rocket of a throw. He gets hit south of the border. That's one where the trainer comes out. He just has to hold your hand because there's nothing else he can do. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Lofton down for the count.
And you just hope it's not a Jazz Chisholm Jr. situation. You hope he's wearing protection. They're going to bring the cart out.
One of the strangest plays you'll see because Lynch felt he only had one play and he was so close to Lofton and knew that was a big out at third. He threw it about as hard as he could throw it. They're not going to need the cart, but they are going to need a new third baseman.
That was wild. So you hope Lofton is going to be okay after that one. As Cameron Misner will now come off the bench. Let's see if they shake up their infield alignment. So Misner will come on and play left. Collins will move from left field and play second base, and Rojas will shift from second and play third base.
Looks like Perez is coming out. He's going to pinch hit. They're apparently going to go to their bullpen as Lynch is going to depart. Schreiber is coming in from the pen with the bases loaded, nobody out, and the winning run 90 feet away. So as he trots in, we're going to step out, and we will be back. Infield in, outfield in. There's 5 infielders. There are 2 outfielders.
Junior Perez, the pinch hitter for the White Sox. As the sweeper misses well wide, ball 1. Junior Perez is here because Everson Pereira is on the injured list. Slammed into the outfield wall, dealing with a concussion. Pereira still not doing baseball activities. As the youngster was looking for his first walk-off.
Just have to make some contact because the outfield is playing very shallow. They have to get in a situation where on a line drive they can throw to the plate.
As he swings through the sweeper, strike 2. 5 infielders, 2 in the outfield. You just need to find some grass.
Outfielder in short left center, short right center, and 3 on the left side.
1-2. Challenge from Perez behind the plate.
And no reason at this point not to challenge it. You got nothing to lose. It looked like it was off the plate. And it was well off the plate.
Kansas City has 1 challenge remaining.
Time to get loud. Bases loaded. 3-2. And the cutter lands. Strike 3 looking.
This one right down the middle. Now they play 3 on the right side, 2 on the left, but the outfield stays the same in right center and left center, shallow.
Jacob Gonzalez. One of the many call-ups this season for the White Sox. Will he be the hero today? Bases loaded. 1-1 pitch. Way inside. If that had hit him, that's ball game.
Real easy to say that you don't want to get out of the way too quickly on that, but you have to be one of those guys that does that a lot, like Antonacci. With a padded up lead elbow, that one just missed.
3 balls and a strike now, as Jacob Gonzalez in the driver's seat. Big crowd, everybody on their feet here at the rate. 3-1, and it's fouled off.
That's ball 4. He throws a cutter. It's inside off the plate.
Three-two pitch. Gonzalez lines it under the glove of Bobby Witt Jr. and the White Sox will walk it off. 7th walk-off of the season, and it's by the 7th different player. There is some magic with this Sox team. You're watching the best story in baseball this season. It's been a different guy every single game. Today, Jacob Gonzalez.
Set up by a great bunt by Braden Montgomery. Gonzalez worked the count full before taking it the opposite way. And because the infield has to be in at all 4 positions, this is a one-hop rocket. Bobby Witt just can't pick it. Bear in mind, this is his first game playing defense since he hurt his knee. And there is the final base hit of the ball game. And the Sox win their 10th straight home series with 1 more to play here tomorrow afternoon. And the excitement keeps building here at 35th and Shields.
Woo. Jacob Gonzalez. An RBI single to walk it off. And the White Sox win a tight one. As we update the standings, the White Sox a 1.5 lead in first over the Guardians. And you think about, on a day we honor the 1983 White Sox, a team that won the division, what could happen with this team this season?
Well, so far they've been really tough to beat here in Chicago. They got 1 more here tomorrow, and then it's on the road for a tough road trip. But first things first, let's take care of the business with Kansas City on a day game tomorrow. Quick turnaround, get your rest. This is getting really exciting.
Woo, I enjoyed it, partner. Thank you for joining us and spending your Saturday afternoon with us here at Rate Field. For my guy Steve Stone, I'm John Schriffen. It is a final. The White Sox win it, a walk-off winner, and will take this series 2-1 over the Royals. Stay tuned. White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling comes your way after the break.